I'm Dr. Craig Farney.
I'm Dr. Kyson Frank.
And we're here to talk about mold.
Ew. So we've discussed before, mold has a very specific role in the environment. Its job is to go through and break things down to the basic elements before they can be recycled in the world that we live in. Mold is very similar to yeast, but as a multicellular branching mechanism versus individual or bicellular nature that yeast has. So mold needs three things to survive: dark, damp, cool places. So the old saying is, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So I need heat, light, and air circulation to fight this off or to clean this up. The problem with mold spores is they're like everlasting seeds or time bombs waiting to be deployed with the first chance of contact with water. It needs a temperature of over 500 degrees Fahrenheit to actually burn these spores out to kill them. So if you have a huge infestation in your house, you might actually have to burn it down sometimes to actually clear out all the spores. So we have to fight it in different ways. I read an interesting article about scientists who have actually collected spores from fossils and were actually able to activate them just with water. So they do hang around for a long period of time, and it takes a lot to get rid of them. So you may be wondering, how can mold actually be affecting me in my life? Well, there's some surprising ways that mold will be infiltrating your life in your home. Right now, people are buying all these front-loading washers which have these big baffling seals around the front. Well, any type of mold spore that gets on your clothing or on your garments, anything you wash in there, can get caught in there. And most people don't realize that they actually have mold growing inside of this baffling, and they don't take their seals off and clean them. So what happens is, this mold keeps growing, keeps producing more spores, and keeps infiltrating it and soaking into their clothing that they have and they're wearing. And this is how they take it to work with them. This is how they share it with their friends, whether they want to or not. So all these tumblers like Yeti cups and everything are all the rage right now. Most people don't realize that right now there's a rubber seal around the lid there, and if you don't take that off and clean underneath it, any type of organic material, anything you're drinking out of there besides water itself, can start growing mold. And that could be a real issue, because now you're actually putting all of your other drinks in here. You're actually putting these mold spores directly into your body with what you're consuming. If you have these cups at home, I challenge you to go peel the seals off and see if there's anything growing underneath there. Even worse than that are sippy cups for kids. These are notorious for growing mold in the little valves and everything that are supposed to keep them from spilling. These things need to be taken apart and cleaned thoroughly, or better to try to avoid them altogether, because they can lead to a lot of sicknesses in kids. So all the rage right now, people are trying to be healthier, they're trying to get away from nicotine and getting away from cigarettes. Well, they're all going to these e-cigarettes, and a lot of these vaping pens and vaping products have actually been found to have mold and mold spores in them. And so you're inhaling them directly, and you're directly poisoning yourself with these things, not even to discuss all the other risks involved with e-cigarettes. But this is a major way that it can be infiltrating into your life, into your lungs, which can affect your breathing, your energy, how you function in your life, directly from just using e-cigarettes. Mold is prevalent everywhere, even in space. We have problems with mold growing on the space station. Interesting enough, the mold can grow on the outside of the space station, and the ionizing radiation from space can't even kill it off. It'll thrive and grow in that. Matter of fact, they actually found mold that's growing in Chernobyl, where we had a nuclear disaster, and they're actually finding that the mold is adapting and growing to the radiation there and actually absorbing it and eating it. They're actually finding that mold actually has the ability to clean our environment, even radiation, because it will adapt to this and it will pursue cleaning this product up and helping recycle everything in the environment. So mold is a very strong adversary that we have to learn to deal with in many ways. If anything that we've discussed today sounds familiar to you and you want to investigate further, please call us. We'd love to be your ally.